Are you also having trouble believing this one? Well, take a look at the illusion again. If you want, try holding up one of your hands and block this section of the image. If you're having trouble seeing it, we'll help you out. Crazy, right? Are you wondering why this happens? How two distinctly different shades of gray could actually be the same color? In this case, it has to do with how your brain uses shadows to make decisions about what it's seeing. Take a look at this object. One glance and you know what it is. But how do you know what it is and where it's positioned in space? Well, let's break it down. The light reflected by this object is converted by your eyes into an electrical signal and is sent down a neurological pathway called the optic nerve to the back of your brain. Starting in this region, called the visual cortex, the image is cross-referenced with memory of past experiences stored throughout your brain as you try to identify the object. Once it's figured out what it is, your brain has to decide how the object is positioned in space, and one of its most reliable tools is to use shadows. Here's another illusion to show you how that works. Take a look at that basketball again. We're going to put it on the court and move it along a diagonal. Now we're going to add a shadow. It's still moving in the same way, right? Okay, so what if we change the position of the shadow? Do you think we can trick your brain into seeing the ball's motion differently? Does it look like the ball is taking off now? In a world with a single light source, your brain has learned to trust shadows as a near foolproof way to know the behavior of objects in space. And in general, it's worked. Until now.
Your brain's using its past experience to generate its perceptions of the world. And so the brain looks at this image and it says, this surface is in shadow, okay? If this surface were actually in shadow and returning the same amount of light to your eye as this surface, which seems to be in light, this would actually have to be more reflective. There's less light hitting it, but the same amount is hitting your eye as this one, right? And so that's why you see it as lighter.
Was that confusing? Let's simplify this. Bo is saying the gradients and shadows he's painted here give your brain clues that the top is a well-lit gray surface and the bottom is a poorly lit white surface. Clues your brain trusts because of your past experience with shadows. But, as you're beginning to see, shadows can lie to you, and do all the time.
Behind me, there are two shadows that both appear gray because we have two white lights that are facing me. Now, if we replace with a purple filter, let's see what happens to the colors you see. The shadow no longer looks gray, it looks green. So the question is, where is that green light coming from? Well, there is no green light. The shadow's gray, but it looks green. Why? Because of the color that's surrounding it. Context is everything.
Close your eyes for a moment and just listen.